baby bump, it was lined up with the same timing of where Kathy White would have been in her second trimester. The timeline of when she delivered Blue Ivy lines up almost perfect with the timeline of when Kathy White would have delivered. We all know that Blue Ivy came from a surrogate. They shut that hospital down like a president had just been. And parents who had just had children themselves weren't even allowed to see their own kids for 24 hours because of the security that was locking that whole thing down.
$1.3 million is alleged that Beyonce and Jay-Z, the Carters, paid this hospital to have the right.
Imagine paying $1.3 million just to keep a birth hidden. Why would Beyonce and Jay-Z go that far, unless there was something darker behind Blue Ivy's arrival? It's been claimed that Blue Ivy was actually the child Jay's late pregnant mistress, Kathy White, was carrying at the time of her death. Rumors have circled for years, especially after Jaguar Wright pointed the finger at Beyonce for Kathy's passing. The story goes that Beyonce not only pushed Jay to eliminate Kathy, but also removed the unborn child she carried just before her death. That child, according to speculation, became Blue Ivy. Allegedly, Bey faked her entire pregnancy while Kathy was still expecting Blue. Once Kathy was gone and Blue was in their hands, Bey suddenly blasted the blogs with stories of her long-awaited delivery. Katt Williams shocked many when he began speaking on this, confirming Jaguar's accusations. The public had nearly forgotten until last year, when Beyoncé dropped her Cowboy Carter album. One track, titled Daughter, sparked theories that it was her hidden confession about Kathy's tragic fate. The lyrics appeared to describe taking out her lover's mistress with his help. Many also think the title itself points to Blue Ivy, believed to be the child Kathy carried before her sudden death. The lyrics paint a chilling picture: your body laid out on these filthy floors. Your blood stains on my custom couture. I ripped your dress, and you're all black and blue. Look what you made me do. Some brushed it off as fiction, but others insisted the details were too sharp to be random. Kathy's death was officially reported as a brain aneurysm, but suspicions have grown over the years. Let's go back to August 28, 2011, when Beyoncé revealed her pregnancy at the MTV VMAs. The timing between that reveal, Kathy's passing, and Blue Ivy's birth still raises eyebrows. Bey supposedly delivered Blue on January 12, 2012, right around the same time Kathy was also reported pregnant. Just days before Bey's due date, Kathy was suddenly found dead. Weeks later, Beyoncé announced Blue's birth as the new year began. To this day, many remain convinced Beyoncé was never pregnant, and that she and Jay used surrogacy, with Kathy as the surrogate. In gestational surrogacy, the surrogate carries an embryo but shares no genetics with the baby. The DNA comes from the intended parents. This could explain why Blue resembles both Bey and Jay, even if Bey never carried her. Skeptics also point to a viral video where Beyoncé's baby bump seemed to collapse as she sat down. To some, that was the clearest evidence her pregnancy wasn't real.
Have been a fake baby bump visually collapsed as she sat down. I admit, that did look weird, but maybe it was a weird camera angle, or maybe she wears extra padding to keep her due date a secret. And yes, maybe Beyoncé isn't actually pregnant.
How many expectant mothers have you ever seen whose stomachs collapse inward like that while sitting? The rumor mill claims Beyoncé allegedly got rid of Kathy after she delivered the baby, fearing Kathy would end up back in Jay's arms, and she wasn't about to let that happen. Beyond that, Kathy's death meant she'd never have the chance to later reveal the truth about Bey. And let's not ignore how Bey and Jay reportedly shelled out more than $1.3 million to shut down the hospital floor where she was supposedly giving birth to Blue. Was that really necessary? Unless, of course, there was something hidden that the public wasn't meant to uncover. Allegedly, of course. People also pointed to a disturbingly dark poem from Beyoncé's track Anger, where she describes being willing to do anything, even wearing the skin and hair of her husband's dead mistress, if that's what it takes to keep him bound to her forever. Listen closely, y'all.
If it's what you truly want, I can wear her skin over mine Her hair over mine. Her hands as gloves. Her teeth as confetti. Her scalp a cap. Her sternum my bedazzled cane. We can pose for a photograph. All three of us. Immortalized. You and your perfect girl.
In a now-removed article, Hollywood Street King claimed they interviewed one of the officers involved in Kathy's case, and he allegedly said her death was ruled a homicide, not a brain aneurysm as widely reported. The article stated, "Yesterday, I learned that Kathy Michelle White had suddenly passed. I began digging into it right away, and here's what I found. Kathy did not die from an aneurysm as the internet was saying. An NYPD detective told me her cause of death was still unclear. Later today, both an autopsy and toxicology report will be carried out. As of now, the case is considered suspicious," he added. According to the report, a 911 call came from an apartment on 130 West 19th Street in Manhattan. Kathy, who was unwell, was taken by ambulance to Beth Israel Hospital, where she later passed away. The officer explained it was far too early to label it an aneurysm, and further tests were necessary. He also hinted that Kathy might have been given something toxic, and toxicology results could take up to 2 weeks. Just 2 weeks before her death, Kathy had allegedly been contacted by a major tabloid probing her ties to Jay-Z. She didn't reveal much, but, according to a source, after speaking to them she called Jay directly and demanded money in exchange for keeping quiet about the affair. Shockingly,
So if you had to
within
buy
barely
just
48
one of
hours
the
of
trilogy,
Beyonce's
it'd be-
Congratulations, and take this as
Kathy
one.
was suddenly gone under suspicious
You know, it was great that she was
circumstances.
there with you and you took her up on stage.
Taken unfairly. She actually died screaming, and the Carters are responsible. But one of them is just a little more responsible than the other. Question is, did Sean Carter delete his mistress, his pregnant mistress, because his wife was jealous? Or could it be possible that maybe his wife's temper is just a little worse than most people think? And maybe he just had to clean it up to protect the brand, see? I mean, I'm just speculating.
But Jaguar didn't stop there. She later appeared in another interview, where she doubled down with even more shocking claims, this time going deeper into the story. She alleged that Beyonce had faked her pregnancy entirely and went as far as to steal Kathy's unborn child from her womb before having her eliminated. According to Jaguar, Blue Ivy was never Beyonce's baby at all, but the very child Kathy was carrying before Jay allegedly had her taken out.
Think about Claudia Jordan right now. Claudia Jordan don't ever mention my mother name. She mentioned it yesterday. Talking about why people are afraid to come forward. You mean like you? You was Diddy girl. Corey was Jay-Z girl. Why don't you claim your friend? Claudia.
So, Jack, when you say...
When I say Corey, I'm talking about Kathy White.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was about to ask.
Jay-Z's pregnant mistress,
yeah.
who died of an imaginary fucking aneurysm. Just like the woman who was best friends with Kim and Kimura, who wrote the book Bling and died as soon as it made the bestsellers list.
Mm.
Who the fuck was these people supposed to go to?
Mm.
You can't go to the boss because the boss is fucking you. And the boss's boss don't get no. Can't go to the authorities. They're all bought and paid for. You could try to get a special prosecutor, but they'll just pay somebody to reassign him to another case. Where the fuck you go when you get over by the industry. Nowhere. That's where you go nowhere, which is where people like me step in. You right, I go to Diddy parties. So walk mother out, cause ain't nobody stopping me when I come. You Sean.
Hey, man.
Weirdo. I don't get no what you got in your head, that neural link. You'll never outthink me. Ever. All I do is frustrate your AI. You can't quantify me. You can't even control your wife. You gonna handle a bitch like me. You can't even control that goofy bitch. You should have did a better job. Maybe she wouldn't have had to lose her mind on Kathy. Cause you ain't protecting you. You're protecting her. Wonder why?
And then there's well-known journalist Liz Crokin, who also pointed the finger at Jay for Kathy's death. Liz revealed she had been preparing for an exclusive sit-down with Kathy to discuss her affair with Jay, just days before Kathy suddenly passed. When Kanye West hinted that Jay-Z had blood on his hands, Liz claimed he was referencing Kathy White. She said, "I was the reporter scheduled to interview your alleged mistress right before she was silenced. I know everything. I know what you did. Go F yourself. Your time is almost up. Maybe you and Diddy can share a prison cell. Justice is coming." She went further, saying it was only a matter of time before spirit cooking Jay-Z was exposed just like Diddy. According to her, Kanye's words weren't random. She insisted Jay was truly evil at his core. She added that she prays Kathy White will one day receive justice, and that these false idols will continue to fall, promising, "Mark my words." Now, regarding Katt, insiders claim the reason he hasn't openly blasted Jay and Bey with these allegations is fear of being hit with lawsuits, similar to what they tried with Jaguar when she appeared on Piers Morgan's show. Still, he's said to firmly believe that Blue isn't Beyonce's biological child. And judging by public reaction, many agree with him, backing up his claims that Bey allegedly stole Blue from Kathy. One user pointed out, if Blue was born January 7th, that would mean Beyonce was 4 months along when she announced her pregnancy, but her bump at the VMAs looked way too big. Another recalled, "I remember hearing all about this back in 2017 with that collapsing baby bump. I didn't want to believe it and ignored it, but here we are again. But now I want to hear from you. What do you make of Katt exposing Bey and Jay for allegedly being tied to Kathy's death? And do you really believe Blue Ivy was a surrogate baby?" Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to click here for another messy deep dive.